Now we've got a problem here. We can't purchase any more seeds because we've got a full inventory here of stuff that we've collected. We don't have enough wood to manufacture a trunk yet. So in the inventory here, I'm going to select fiber because we will get a ton of that stuff as junk. And we can't do anything with it right now anyway. So we just toss that in the trash can. That frees up a spot for us. So we're going to head out the east side of the ranch here. And each of these areas, this is a forageable, this flower here. But again, we've got a full inventory, so we're not going to... you know what? We've got a couple there. So we can pick those up later. Right now we're going to head to town, which is straight down this road here. And some people have trouble finding the store. Here's the doctor here. Just talk to him. And in your journal, that's part of the introductions here, the 3 people. We met 2, just simply by clicking and talking to the doctor. That added 1. There is no time limit for that, so you can take your time. You're not forced to do it the very first. We'll just kind of... Here's Lee and Abigail. And then we can get around the counter. We can talk to Pierre. He's the shop owner here. Okay, so now we've got him on our list. Don't know if his wife is out of the bedroom. She might be. Kitchen over here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll catch her later. So we're not focusing on absolutely completing those quests first thing off the bat. What we want to do is we want to buy up parsnip seeds. We were given 500 gold to start with and 15 seeds by the mayor. So we're going to buy all that we can. We're down to 0. Don't worry. I know we're out of money. Not a big deal. We're going to head back to town. I mean, back to farm, sorry. And we're going to get these seeds in the ground. We want to make sure that we get all of these planted on the first day. So we've got 25 seeds. So we have 5 spots here, and we need 2 more rows over here. Not going to worry about with these first crops here. We're not going to worry about getting any fertilizer in because we simply cannot afford it right now, nor do we have the recipe to make them. So we'll plant these, and I'm just simply holding A down, just holding it down and then just walking forward. I'm not repeatedly pressing it. I'm just holding it. Every tilled spot will take a seed. Wish you could do that with the water, but you can't. You see there's a water bar right underneath our water can. And each use of it will drain it. The basic can here, we missed a spot, holds 40 waterings. So 40 uses. If you water the same spot twice, that counts as twice. As you can see, our energy bar is getting fairly low because each use of the watering can also consumes energy as well. So anytime you use your pick, your hoe, or your axe, that consumes energy. I don't think I'm going to have enough. We'll try it. See if we can get another tree here. Oh, yes, we just made it. Awesome. Okay, still don't have quite enough for the chest. That's okay. We only need a few more. We're out of energy. We have no food. We still have most of the day, though. Most of the evening, sorry. Let's go ahead and we'll dispose of more of this fiber, so we have a place here. And we'll go ahead and grab these yellow flowers right over here. Now that just earned us experience in foraging. So simply picking these up increases your foraging level. That's most likely all we're going to be able to pick up because we have no inventory and not enough wood. But we'll continue to look for this specific flower. There are two flowers. This one and the dandelion to look for. Oh, there's one. There are leeks, which kind of look like little white bulbs. And there's horseradish. All of these are available in spring, and spring only, which we are in. It starts off with spring. So there is the carpenter and her husband. Him, and that'll unlock him. We already talked to Robin already during the intro. And there's Sebastian. And basically, just clicking on them unlocks them in your tab, and it also counts as one person talked to in our quest. So you can see in our journal, we're up to 8 people now. And you can see that all the people that we've talked to now have names. And it also tells us whether they are single or not. All the single ones you can marry, and the game doesn't judge male or female. You can, as your male, you can marry another male or a female. It doesn't matter. So whatever your choice is, game accommodates that. We're probably going to not be able to get through our farm here, but we'll try. We don't have enough energy to... Oh yeah, we got a path. Screw it, so that's not going to let us. Basically, the weeds that I'm picking up here, or the weeds that I'm clearing, are consuming no energy. I really hate going to bed early, because I just feel like I'm missing an opportunity of getting some work done. I can't use my axe or hoe, because I have no energy to use them yet. And we haven't acquired food yet. Almost positive I'm not going to get through this area. These rocks normally... What the heck? Oh, I accidentally changed weapons. Oh boy. See, now we're out of energy, and we're slowly creeping along. Which is what I was trying to prevent doing. I bumped the trigger and changed weapons. So we're not going to be able to get out the bottom exit. But we will later. Tomorrow we'll have more energy, because we won't have to be doing any hoeing tomorrow. And it's giving us the inventory warning, because we are indeed out of place to store all this stuff. So these weeds yield seeds, and that fiber. Okay, this trunk here, anything that we put in this trunk, we can sell. Now, if you simply press A on a stack, it will sell the entire stack, like this. If you press just the X button, it will sell just one of the item in that stack. So we're going to go ahead and put these in there, because we're not going to need them right away. We do need one of them, but we are easily going to get plenty more. So we're out of energy, creeping along. It's 10:50 at night. Now I'm going to tell you, you need to be in bed no later than 12:50. That's 10 minutes to 1 in the morning. At 1 o'clock, it starts lowering your energy the following day. If you stay up until 2 a.m., you pass out no matter where you are. You could be in your house, you could be in your farm, you could be in town, down at the beach, doesn't matter. At 2 a.m., you pass out. And you get teleported back to, or carried back to your house, and that costs money. Right now we don't have any, so it won't take any money. But when we do have money, it will take money out of your account every time you pass out anywhere at all, even in your farm. So you must be in bed by 1:50 in the morning, or it costs you money. You must be in bed by 12:50, or it costs you energy for the following day. Okay, so you can see our overnight sales in that box. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you sell it, put an item in that box for sale, you take the item to a store to sell it. You get the same amount of money earnings from it. It does not matter. The advantage of the box is you can place it in there anytime, day, night, doesn't matter. And it will sell automatically overnight when we sleep. The advantage of taking it to the store is you get the money immediately when you sell it. So you can immediately turn around and buy something with the money that you just received. With the box, you have to wait till the following day to get the money to go to the store. However, you must visit a store during the time it is open, and it's only open 9 to 5. So you can only sell from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it's closed on Wednesdays, so you can't sell or buy at a store. He also doesn't buy everything. So like the shells and things that you'll pick up on the beach, which we'll show you later, he won't buy. You have to sell the shells and things to a different store. So you're running from store to store to store, and that eats up a lot of time during the day. So I find it, especially early in the game, more advantageous to sell things via the box, because right now we're not in a crunch situation where we have to have the money immediately. That will change when we harvest our crops, because we need seed right away to replant them. So in that case, we will go to a store. But for daily sales like this right now, we're just going to stuff stuff in the box. So this shows you 4 daffodils for 120 gold was the earning. You can click the plus symbols next to them to see the details. And it's saving our game. Okay, first thing in the morning, we head to the TV, we check the weather report. Rain, good deal. And spirits are in a good mood today, so we'll have a bit of extra luck. Okay, so we've got our crops in, and for some reason, every once in a while, one of them won't grow. So their first task of the day, every day, that it's not raining is to water our crops. And I got in the habit of doing this immediately in the morning before I do anything else. Because this consumes energy, and I don't have full energy today, so this is going to be a rough day because I drained my energy down to 0 yesterday. So you definitely don't want to go run on empty if you can prevent it. That was an accident. I didn't mean to. I accidentally watered one twice. Really? There we go. Okay. So we're going to check our mail because we see we have an icon here. And basically it's just a sales. And you'll get periodic mails. Okay, good. Okay, this is Willie. And he's going to hook us up with a fishing rod. But what I want to do is see if we can clear out a path with what little energy we have left. I was hoping to get a... There, we've got... Oh, I think we've got just enough. Yeah, let's try it. Got just enough to fell the tree. Awesome. Okay, that gives us enough for a wood chest, which is really critically what I was needing more than anything else. So our inventory is full. And if we make a chest, we must throw something away. So just for grins, we'll go ahead and sell this fiber. We don't need it right now, so we have an empty slot now. And I'm pulling this up by pressing Y. And we're going to make a chest using the wood that we've harvested. And using the triggers to select it. And I'm going to tuck it in right next to the sales chest here, and this will be a general catch-all for now. So I'm just pressing A on everything to get it all out of my inventory. Don't need to carry my hoe around all the time. And you can change the color of the chest. You can color code them. So you can see it's green. And as you stack up chests, that color code really comes in handy. Being able to color them. So if you put, like, use green, I tend to use green for wood and all the nuts from trees, things like that. I tend to use red for any stone and mud and things like that. So we can use our tools out here in the wild to chop. We can chop trees, we can chop these sticks, we can break up rocks. However, we're almost out of energy, so we're not going to be doing that. Again, using the scythe consumes no energy. So why we're here is right down here in these dirt patches, during spring, grow spring onions. Well, these are a freebie. Oh good, there's a forageable right there. Here's one of the spring forageables right here, the wild horseradish. Now that we have a trunk, we are going to be saving it. We need a horseradish, a leek, a dandelion, and I think it's a daffodil is the yellow flower. So basically we're just going to make a big loop here around the pond. And I'm just kind of clearing out walking areas as we go. And this will make foraging later a little bit easier, because you're kind of clearing paths through things. So you can get at some of the stuff later much easier. And since we're out of energy, we can just utilize the scythe all we want. Seeds. We'll be saving those seeds for later. We can plant those. And these mixed seeds... there's our other flower. So now we have 2 of the items we need. Okay, excellent. Head down this road. Now this is the southern road, and this leads into the south side of town. And for reference, so you know where we are, here's the plaza where we came in, and the store is right over here. So we're going to head south over here. It's right by Mayor's house. Down to the beach. And we'll get a cutscene since we got that mail from Willie. And this is Willie out on the dock. And he's going to hook us up with a fishing rod. And he has probably one of my favorite lines in the entire game. And if you have ever been in a fishmonger or a place that sells wholesale fish, you'll understand this line. If it smells, it sells. That is absolutely hilarious and absolutely true. I grew up in Florida, so I've been in and around the fishmongers a lot. So in here is the shop that you have to sell. Oh, good. Oh, good. We got some seashells right away here. Yikes! I can't really pick that up because I don't have any inventory space left. Oh well. So these shells you can sell to Willie, or you can put in the nighttime box. Once we acquire enough wood, we need 300. We can repair this bridge, and there's more collectibles over there. So for now, I'm just going to leave the oyster on the beach because I really can't pick it up. I need pretty much everything else I've got in my inventory. So there's Elliot. We can click him. And now he's in our list. So as you can see, I'm not forcefully just going through the map, finding every single person. As I pass them, I take care of it. As I said, that quest is... there's one down there, one right here. I'm actually looking for more of the flowers. So we can sell those, and we can use them for food as well, believe it or not. Here's Vincent and his sister Jess. And the school teacher, which there isn't a school, but she still teaches and watches the kids. The blacksmith is in here. And later, as we find artifacts, the library is in here, and that's where you turn those in. This is another store. You can purchase here. It is open all the time, even when the other store is closed. We'll chase Pam down here. I think we already talked to Abigail, but she just needs a spot. She's the only one with purple hair. Maru. we're basically out of energy, so we can't do much of anything. We've already talked to Demetrius there. Don't know. I don't think we've caught him yet. We'll talk to Linus here. And this road over here is the northern route back to your farm. So as you can see, we've made a giant loop around. And this is typical. I usually split the upper loop and the lower loop out and do them in separate groups, because especially early in the game where we have limited inventory, we really can't carry all this stuff. Now I'm not going to sell the horseradish, but so we have 2 dandelions here, and I'm going to sell one of those because we can really use the cash. Store all this other stuff in here. We're not going to use the fishing rod right away. And this button here sorts everything for you, so it kind of puts everything in order for you. You can do the same with your inventory. Your backpack stuff. It also has the same button. It will sort things. However, this isn't the order I tend to like to have things in. I like to have the watering can first, scythe, axe, and then pickaxe, and then I'll commonly put either a sword when we get it later, and then some food when we're out foraging. So I think that's about it for these basics. And we do want to save some of this fiber, because that will be used fairly shortly here. Check the bus stop. There's typically stuff up here. The bus does not work, neither does the minecart. However, you can restore those, and that's kind of a game event later, which I won't go into because I don't want to run a spoiler too early. Check for forageables. We're going to go down and get that oyster. Kind of where I'm headed. I believe we've already talked to her, so we're done. We're going to go get that oyster. So I hate leaving free money on the ground. A little closer. So I wanted to look in the bus stop. So I went that direction. This southern path is a little bit closer back to home from the beach. Now that we've got all 3 paths open, I eventually will clear this path out considerably more, so it's a lot easier to walk through here. So right now it's kind of an obstacle course. Okay. Sell that guy. And I guess I really hate going to bed early. I really do. So we'll kind of beat down some weeds over here. Make a little use of the time, what we can get to anyway. There's a whole ton of rocks. And one thing to note, I'm not going to clear all of that light grass out. These weeds, yes. But I'm going to leave some patches of this grass alone because right now it doesn't yield anything. However, later, once we have enough wood and money to build a silo, this grass will yield hay for any animals that we end up purchasing. We'll end up getting a coop for chickens and ducks, and we will need feed for them. It's getting late, so I guess it's... I try not to go to bed before 10, you know, especially when there's some busy work I can get done, like get rid of weeds and stuff in the area. Okay, so we'll head to bed. Yes, please. And all the gathering that we've done has unlocked level 1 foraging. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick up everything off the ground that I possibly could. Because now we have a crafting recipe for the field snacks, which allows us to produce our own food. And now that we have level 1 foraging, any trees that we chop down drop seeds. Not all of them, but many of them drop seeds. So when we chop trees down, we will get seeds. The seeds are used to make the field snack. The field snack is 45 energy, so it's an excellent food source for days when we're running fairly low on energy, and that will happen as we expand our farm. Okay, we got a save here. Excellent. And today's a rain day, so we do not have to worry about watering our crops today. So we have full energy to dedicate to clearing out the farm. Not going to rain tomorrow. We can't get in the mine yet. Normally I use rainy days for the mine, especially when the spirits are in good humor like this. So you get extra loot and faster drops. Ah, stupid crow. Okay, so we've got 100% energy. We do not have to water. So today is going to be focused on clearing out more and more and more of the farm here. And we're going to focus on getting some of these trees chopped down. You see I got a pine cone there. Now that we've got the foraging, and see I got another pine cone after I dropped it down, you can go up to a tree and shake a tree, now that we've got that second foraging, and sometimes it will drop one of the nuts for that tree. So these are oaks, so there's a chance it will drop an acorn, sorry. That's a maple tree. So let's go ahead and get these chopped down, because we need the wood and the nuts that they drop. Okay, so we now have a maple seed, an acorn, and a pine cone. So those are the 3 ingredients for those energy bars. You see I chose to chop the tree this direction into the clear area that I've already cleared. Now, this is where that direction matters. If I were to chop this from the top or the bottom, it would fall either left or right, and if it falls right, most of the wood and sap would fall into the water. So I want to make sure that I stand on this side of the tree and chop it from this side so that it falls away from the water. Because there's a 50-50 chance it will fall left or right. And I didn't want to lose any of the the wood and sap, and specifically the nuts. Good. Good supply of those built up, and we'll turn those into those ration bars. Energy bars, what do you want to call them? Probably get one more tree here. That's basically it. So we'll use the remainder of the energy on this area here, because we're going to be needing this area at some point to put more crops in. And then after we harvest our crops, that should get level up our... Okay, so we're feeling exhausted, so we're going to stop here. Now our backpack is full again, so we've got to make room before we try to manufacture those bars. Otherwise we would have to throw something away. So we're going to store everything except the 3 nuts that we need. I am pressing Y to get in here. And as you can see, here's the field snack. It supplies 45 energy and 18 health. We're going to spit those out. These seeds don't sell for much. I think they're 5 each. And one of them is 10. I think the maple seeds are 10. 10 gold each. So they don't sell for much. And these field snacks are far more valuable to us than the few gold. So now that we're out of energy, now we're going to go into foraging mode. So we're going to start our loops through the countryside, looking for... Change over to the scythe so I don't accidentally use any energy on anything. Hit the bridge. That sound you heard, I think, is the game developer's idea of a frog. They have obviously never heard a real frog, or they would not have used that sound effect. Okay, we didn't bring our hoe, and we probably should start packing that along since they're going to start showing up now. Still early yet, so we're going to go fetch a hoe. And I'll show you why. Those 3 little worm guys, we might be able to use it. Which energy do we have? We have 12, so we got plenty. Plenty enough for a swing or 2. Grab our hoe. Get back down there. I didn't see any onions. Some days you get them and some days you don't. Most days you do. And we're not selling those because, again, they don't sell for much. They're much more valuable to us as an energy supply for when the mine opens up. I think that was this patch over here. Yep. So we're going to select our hoe. This is where that red square comes in handy. And we're going to dig once. And these turn up books, like we just got. And this will open up a book you can read in the library. It will turn up artifacts, which we also turn into Gunther in the library. And as we turn in more and more of the artifacts, it unlocks rewards from Gunther. And there are specific artifacts that will unlock certain things. Trying not to spoiler too much. So when you see those little worm guys, you want to if you have the energy to spare, you definitely want to whack them with a hoe. Oh, there's another one. See him right there in the dirt. Still have energy left. Not much, but some. Okay, so this is an artifact. So instead of continuing on around the loop, I'll head toward town. And there's Mayor. Hello to Mayor. Say hello to Lee. There's a flower we can pick on the way. So we're going to come in here. And we're going to get our first cutscene. You only get this once. And he's going to complain that, hey, it's empty. And he only does this if you enter the library with an artifact. Okay, we got the cutscene, and now we can approach him with something in our inventory that we can donate. If there's nothing, he will tell us that we got to go find something. So we can select this one item, and you can put it in any one of these benches you want, anywhere. Doesn't matter. There is no difference in reward or anything based on where you put it. So I tend to start off with the artifact stuff here, and then I start filling gems in the bottom and working up, and then use the odds and ends on the sides over here. But that's just me. You organize it any way you want. So there we go. So we donated to him. You'll see these book things here. We can read. One of these was started already, had we come in here first. That book that we found from one of the digs is this one. And eventually you'll get more and more and more and more books all over the library that you can read. And you can come back and reread them if you want. It's not a one-shot deal. Okay, so we've turned in our first artifact. And again, as you turn in more and more at certain intervals. Willie. Oh, come here. No. Oh, he's going to chase him. There he is. Bastion. Pretty sure we got both of those guys. Shell. This guy, this cockle shell, in one of my games, I needed it for one of the bundles, quests, whatever you want to call them. Trying to be general with them. I needed one of these for one of the quests. And I think the game knew that. And I spent an entire game year going to the beach virtually every day trying to find one, and found none. I found a bunch of them at the beginning of the game, and I sold them. Oops. I'm gonna head up top here. We're looking for forageables, leaves, things like that. The roots. We're missing the leek. We don't have a leek yet. Now when they finally finish, you'll get a message. That guy breaking that boulder right there, he'll eventually finish, and you'll get a message saying so. At that point you can enter the mine. Right now you can't. Otherwise these rain days I would usually be in the mine, especially when the spirits are happy the way they are. So now that we have, and those little worm guys do appear on your ranch, or on your farm here. They're not as common as elsewhere in the valley. Okay, I want to store one of those, and absolutely store that one. We have, I want to make sure we have one of these daffodils. We do not. So we're going to store that, and then sort, put everything together. So we have the wild horseradish, the dandelion, and the daffodil. We are missing the leek. So we need to retain those 4 items for one of these quests. We only need 1 of each. At this point I guess it's just busy work. Weeding the farm as we can. Just using up the day. I think I will circle around. So that some of this patch of grass, because as I said, it regrows. I'll leave some of it so it can spread. And this building you can't do anything with right now. And there is a small cave here, which appears to have no use, but it does. But not right now. I mean, we're still pretty early in the game, so you know there's a lot of things that we haven't uncovered, unlocked, etc. Basically, I'm just kind of chewing up some of the day. I mean, eventually this stuff has got to get weeded out anyway. As far as the weeds go anyway. I'm just kind of expending some of the hours of the day so I don't have to do it later. It's getting late, so we make our way through the maze back to bed. Get through here. Go. Drop everything in the chest over here. Saving these mixed seeds. Now, what those are, they will randomly grow any of the crops of that season when you plant them. So even though we picked up those seeds now, if we save them to summer and plant them, they will be summer crops. If we save them to fall, they will be fall crops. If we plant them now, they will be spring crops. So I'm saving those up because they do turn into useful crops. It's not just junk right now. Okay, day 4. And then we'll do one more day. Tomorrow will be harvest day for the parsnips that we have planted. So I'll continue the stream until tomorrow. Sunny, bummer. I was hoping for rain, but is what it is. Annoyed, so not great loot today. Living off the land again is just general tips. Challenges about the spring onions, which we already know about. Oh wow, we got 2 of them that didn't grow. One there, and the crow took one. Watering first thing in the morning. And the reason I do it first thing in the morning is 1, it consumes energy, So instead of having to make sure that I, go through my day and reserve enough energy in the evening to water the plants, I simply water them first thing in the morning. That way I've expended the energy on the most important thing of the day, which is watering the plants. If you do not water them, they do not grow. So if I stopped watering these, they won't die, but they will not continue to grow. So we won't get any crops out of them. I'm going to plant a single seed there. You know what? No, I'm not going to bother. I was going to plant one of those seeds to hold the dirt. So as long as there's something in the dirt, the hoed area, it will stay. But if there's nothing here, so that crow took one of our crops, there's a chance that piece will disappear. And it's only one hoe, so it's not a big deal. So now that we've expended all of our energy required to maintain our crops, now we know all the energy we have left. We can expend that on other activities around the farm. The second thing is it takes time. And again, we're running up against that bedtime at night. So again, instead of having to guesstimate how long it's going to take me to water X amount of crops, I simply get it done. And then I don't have to worry about it later. Now, one thing to note, the trees do not grow back unless you plant them. Right now, that is not a big deal because, frankly, we don't want the trees up here. At some point, we're going to get a blueprint unlocked through leveling up things called a tap. And if you know anything about syrup making, maple syrup, basically you tap a tree and drain some of its sap, and that's turned into maple syrup. These tappers in the game you attach to living trees, and they slowly extract some of the tree's sap. So you get maple syrup from maple trees. You get oak resin from oak trees, and you get pine tar from pine trees. And those different saps, not only can you sell them, but you can also use them for manufacturing things. You will need the maple syrup. I'll chop this one from the bottom. Just made it. Awesome. I don't have enough energy to finish up the stump, so I'll leave it be. And we didn't get any pine cones, so we can't make any of the bars. I don't think we have any stored. Nope. So we're stockpiling coal. We're saving up our wood and our stone. We need fiber for scarecrows later once they unlock. We need these seeds, sort of things. We need these tree seeds, and I need to start on some pine trees next to get pine cones, because we need the third seed. We need these for the energy bars here. We will need clay to build some buildings later. Fiber I covered, and the cockle, if you get one, save one, because you will need that later. Okay, so we're down to our Empty bar. 4. Just barely made it with that tree. Basically, we're going to stock up on these onions. I'm not selling them. I made that mistake once. I sold them all and then realized, oh boy, I need them. You can't make anything out of them, and I don't think any quests call for them. I don't think any villagers ever ask for them. However, they are a free nutrient source, food source for energy and health in the mines. Once we start going down there, we will definitely need to pack food along to take with us. And this is one of the early free ones. You'll come across others later. So I need to get down here with enough energy to clear out some of that wood. There's Jess. Say hello to her. Each time that you speak to a villager, you increase their, hard to describe what, it's kind of their morale toward you. And the higher you raise it, the more hearts that will display in that chart. The chart over here. So, I really haven't talked to hardly anybody enough to even get 1 heart. But it is, you are chatting them up. Every day you do not talk to one, they lose some toward you at some point. Oof. Oh, I used the axe, doggone it. Oh, it was a book. I was hoping for an artifact. That opened up one of the books in the library. Down to 0. So we can't use anything anymore. So even if we find those, we can't pick them up anymore. Oh well. I made a mistake. I actually used an axe on it instead of the hoe. I think we've talked to Sam, but I'm not sure. So basically we're just starting a nice little loop here for looking for artifacts. Just kind of scanning the area for stuff. There's Pam. We've already talked to her. She's pretty grumpy at the start. It's kind of not exactly what you would term a sunshine personality. But as you raise hearts with her, she gets nicer and nicer. She's probably grumpy because she's out of work right now. She is the bus driver. And until they repair the bus, she's out of a job. So I suppose I would probably be pretty grumpy as well. This is Robin. Chat with Demetrius real quick on the way by. There. Still not finished with the rock yet. We're getting nothing out here. Speak to Linus. We didn't get too much today, did we? A few onions. Really not going to have a whole lot of time to be foraging tomorrow. stop real quick. Give it the once over. Don't see anything. Sometimes there's stuff that right along. Oops, see there's one right along the fence. See it? Right here. Yep. And missed a flower. Look up in the right by the fence over here. Still missing the leek. So make sure we've got both of these. We do. So we can hawk these. It's not much, but hey, you know, it adds up. And we've already gained, what, 330 bucks just on this loot. Picking up the stuff. Spend some time out here, I guess, a little bit. I think I'm going to go to bed early today. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a busy day for us. So I want to make sure we get 100% energy in the morning. Now these big stones like this, these logs, and these stumps. We can't do anything with these, so that's why I haven't tried. Tools. Once we upgrade our tools to a certain point, then we can start dealing with those. But right now we can't do anything at all with these guys. So I'm not even going to try. Okay. Let's head to town. And I'll show you the calendar, which is on the front of the building. And later, once I've got enough money, I tend to buy a calendar for my own house, so I don't have to come here and read it. Okay, so this is a calendar. As you can see, we are in spring year one. We're on the 4th day. The parsnips that we planted them on day 1. It takes 4 days to mature. The day you plant them doesn't count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the 4th day, you will have a harvest after the 4th day after you plant them. If you're going to count the day you plant the seeds, it's 5 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Friday we will get a harvest. And we will be able to sell our parsnips and purchase more seeds because it's on a Friday. We will plant the seeds again. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 days. On the 9th, we will have our next harvest. And we will plant again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will have a harvest on the 13th. However, festival days, as you see by the flags, there's 2 of them in the season. The whole town is closed, so you can't get to the store to sell. So your only option is to sell in the trunk. So if we harvest our crops on the 13th, we put them in the trunk, we won't be able to purchase seeds or get the money for them until the morning of the 14th. Why this is important is because the egg festival is this day, and it is your only chance in the entire game, the 13th of every spring, to purchase strawberry seeds. And strawberry seeds are a very valuable crop for spring. So this is not for this spring, it is mainly for the next spring. So we want to be able to have enough money to purchase 16 seeds, and that's my number, because sprinklers water 8 crops. 16 is 2 sprinklers worth. And I'm going to try an experiment on these this time, so that I'm going to plant 8 of them this year and try to use them in the seed maker and see if I get more or less seeds than I would have had I just purchased them. So why this is important is because we've got to plan things a little bit. So tomorrow we're going to buy and plant seeds. Then on the 9th, we have to buy and plant seeds. So what I want to do is I want to reserve some of the money tomorrow, Friday, 5th, half of it, of what we need here. So I want to reserve 800 gold here for this, and then I want to reserve 800 gold out of this one, which will give us 1600 for here. And then any foraging that we find, the shells and flowers and stuff, between here and here will give us extra money along the way, but that's random. I can't guarantee we're going to find anything or enough to purchase the seeds. So I'm going to reserve 800 from here or thereabouts, and 800 from here or thereabouts. And the remaining money that we have has to buy the seeds for this span of crops here, and it has to buy the seeds for this span of crops here. So with that planning in mind, tomorrow we're going to harvest, purchase just enough seeds to leave us 800 gold, and try to get those in the ground on the same day. And then on this harvest, again reserving 800 gold and putting seeds in the ground that day. And then on this day, we will have a harvest. We will put the stuff in the trunk, and I'm going to try, hopefully, with the extra reserve shells and flowers and stuff that we sell in these 2 weeks ahead of this, have enough money to purchase seeds so that we have something to plant on the 13th. Otherwise, we have to wait till the 14th to plant, and that scoots us down a day for the crops, which I would rather not do if we can get by. But it depends. That randomness sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and we sometimes end up planting on the 14th. So 4 days after the 14th, 1, 2, 3, 4 puts us on a Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a 2-day leeway here to plant with. The problem that we have to plan for, if we do manage to plant on the 13th, 1, 2, 3, 4, this harvest is on a Wednesday. So that means the store is closed on Wednesday. Again, we'd have to sell in the trunk overnight. We can't plant that day unless we purchase seeds ahead of time. So we've got a little bit of logistics that we got to deal with, dealing with Wednesdays and then the egg festival. So let's head back to town, or back to farm. Hit the hay. And then we'll have a harvest tomorrow on the 5th. It's going to be a little bit smaller than I wanted because we have 3 crops here. Crow took 1, and then some random number generator killed these 2. Okay, there's our save. And off to the TB. I'm not really too worried about the Sunny. I'm not really too worried about the fortune teller because I don't really care about today because our focus is harvesting and planting. Damn it. Crow got another one. Doggone it. But we're going to solve that tonight. So, I'm pressing A. Just holding it down and just kind of steering with the stick here. So we lost 4 crops. No, 5 crops. Because there's 3 that didn't fully mature, and then the crow took 2. So we lost 5 crops here. Yep, I know. Thank you. Go away. Okay, so we've got we got plenty of standard ones. We got a gold and a silver. Normally I would save that gold one because we need that for something later. Probably horrifying some people right now because I'm actually destroying these crops. That's okay. The OCD in me makes me do it. I need them all to mature on the same day. And you're probably confused. I'm watering dirt. Okay. You can water before you plant seeds. The store does not open until 9 a.m. So I'm making use of the morning hour before the store opens to go ahead and water. And of course I will have to water more when we get back. As I am very sure we will have lots more seeds than we did. Okay, so we've watered everything. Fill up our water, and we'll head to the store. See up here. Daffodil. Ah, we got our first cutscene here for the town hall. So this will begin the quest that involves those items that I've been telling you to save. So basically he's telling you Joja, that big conglomerate store across the bridge, has been trying to buy it for a warehouse. Mayor here is wanting to kind of restore it. You have a game choice to make at some point. You can either do something that will have Joja Mart purchasing this property, or if you choose, you can side with Mayor and restore it yourself. So let's begin. Don't worry about anything else in here. You don't have to do anything. This one little block right here, this little script, you need to read that. And you can't read it, you can't, so you have no clue what this says. It's okay. That, believe it or not, just started the quest to deal with it. Okay, so we're back in town now. And we will get a letter in the mail, probably tomorrow, that will involve that quest. So for now, just kind of put it out of your mind. Okay, so what we need to do now is sell these parsnips and this daffodil. Make our money. And then we're going to buy up that's the plot that we currently have. That's one extra row. And I'm afraid if we buy another row, we may not have enough. You know what? I'm going to take a gamble. Okay, there's 50. That's almost 700 in the bank. And I'm gambling that we're going to pick up enough flowers and seashells and stuff to make up the extra 120 or so that we're currently down on. And we won't have problems with Mr. Crow shortly. Just like before, I'm just holding A down. So we got 10. And by the way, you do want to save this clay. And we've got an extra row here. Water. Okay, we've got our crops in. I would like to have had enough money for 6 rows here. That's okay. Random number generator didn't generate in our favor. So okay, we're all good. Seek out the pine trees here. Because we need pine cones for more of those bars. So we've got some of the other ones. We're kind of shy on pine cones. Very good yield on the pine cones. I was hoping for more. So not getting any pine cones. We're not getting very good luck today at all. I don't think I'm going to have enough to kill the stump. 17. Oh, save it for now. Okay. wood and sap. Fiber. Grab these two. Make up all the bars we can. And drop the leftovers. Oops. And it's very early, so we should be able to get a lot of foraging done today. We will find some more artifacts while we're doing it. And hoping for a leak. That's L-E-E-K, not L-E-A-K. A leek is a kind of a hybrid vegetable that's kind of a mix between an onion and a garlic in real life. Yes, it really does exist. Made up veggie for the game. Actually, leek soup is actually pretty good. I like it. There. Lovely vendor's back. Now, she appears on Fridays and Sundays. And she sells things that are, by and large, very, very overpriced. It's like, here's a leek. Do I want to gamble 300 bucks on a leek, not being able to find a leek? No, not really. She has stuff like, for instance, here's a tulip for 150 and the same tulip for 800. There's no difference between the two. So go figure. The one thing that I do tend to buy from her, which we so can't afford right now, is this rare seed. You plant this in the fall. I think it takes 24 days. It says all season, but it's only 24 days. And the fruit from it sells for 3,000 gold. So you're making 3 times your money back if you've got the grand to spend to start with, which we don't. We have really no need for any of this stuff. Again, her inventory is completely random. Every day she shows up, it will be different. So if there's something in there that you absolutely positively need, you better get it that day, because the next day it's probably not going to be there. Marty, I don't know if we have talked to her. I know we've talked to all these guys before. Little girl isn't very chatty. Start with, which makes sense because, well, you know, you're a stranger. She's a little girl. Not really sure she should be even talking to you at all. Check out the beach here. So this was what I was afraid of. We're not getting foraging on some of these days. There. I wish you could chop down some of the trees in these areas to kind of clear out. This is Joja Mart. And you can buy from them and sell. However, you do not get as much for your sales if you sell it to the store in town, and it will cost you more to buy things there. However, they are open longer hours, and they're open on Wednesday as well, or the other store is closed. If it's an emergency and you gotta sell that day, well, you know, you can take a hit and sell there. I tend not to. Yeah, we are getting nothing today. Not good. Not good. Okay, well, I've taken the stream through the first crop, so I think now would be a good time to break it and start the next part. So we'll hit the sack, get a save, and there's our level up for farming. So there's our scarecrow and our fertilizer. Plus, we take less energy using our watering can and our hoe. So this is what I was talking about, how we're going to be taking care of the crows now. So beginning of next stream, we'll get a scarecrow built. Oh, we even leveled up foraging too. Awesome. So axe takes less energy as well. We can cook a survival burger now, but we don't have a kitchen to cook it in, so not a big deal. So we'll get the save here, and I'll end the stream. And I do appreciate you guys watching. I'll start part 3 fairly shortly here.